All right, everybody. Good evening. Professor Bobo. Tonight, for this first matchup in Division A-West between Hippity Hoppity and Reborn Knights Red, I'm joined by a fellow A-West competitor and captain of Divine 9, Jason. What's happening, brother?
Hey, not a whole lot. Just hearthing and getting ready for this match.
You better get out of WoW, okay? Wait a minute. Horde or Alliance?
Horde? Obviously.
All right. You can take an extra couple seconds. All right. So, tonight, with these two fine competitors, a mid-table matchup here in A-West. And Jason, as you are the resident A-West player, words for this matchup here? What are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, it's a pretty big matchup for both teams. Right now, they're kind of straddling that 50-50 line. Hippity Hoppity 4-4, Reborn Knights Red 5-5. So it might be a little bit more important for Reborn Knights to win this match because they have one less match to play in the rest of the season. But for both teams, you know, you're about to cross that halfway point in the season, and they really don't want to start off that first half in the negative. So really important for both teams to win this and try and launch themselves up towards that 6th place line for the playoffs going into the back half here.
Yes, and playoffs are going to be pretty neat this season in that, and we'll just change our standings. We'll update those a little bit there. We have, like, the wild card weekend. We've got, you know, an expanded list of teams. So with teams that have been there before, such as Reborn Knights Red, you know, we have to then sort of measure those expectations against new teams like Hippity Hoppity, a team that I have not had yet. Interested in seeing what these cats bring. All right. But again, we talked about the standings a little bit. And as Jason just alluded to, two teams middle of the table. Right now, the 8th and 9th place teams. Hippity Hoppity with a slight advantage in that they have played one last game. We'll see how that shakes out. We never know with the forfeits. So on and so forth. Again, a lot of mid-table action. Just taking a quick look at the run of form. We take a look. These teams are not unfamiliar with the draw. A lot of points gained through these matchups, but not a lot of dominations. Prediction for the evening, Jason.
I'm going to predict that we're going to see a draw because that just seems like the most likely scenario. But, you know, I'd be very interested to see Hippity Hoppity. We've seen it, like you said, we've seen a lot from Reborn Knights Red. We've seen a lot of these guys returning this season from previous NGS seasons and from previous Chair League seasons as well. But we have only seen a little bit of Hippity Hoppity so far. Only 4 matches. They even had a bye round in this second round. So still going to be the majority of their resume in the back half of the season. And I can't wait to see what they're going to bring for us tonight.
Well, game number 1, we're headed to the always familiar, the well-loved, the most frequented map in all of NGS. I mean, what would a set be without Infernal Shrines?
Somebody that finally decided to ban it. That's the only thing I think of.
I cannot remember the last time I've seen this damn map banned. Because even if the other team is just, like, disgusting on it, everybo's like, nah, it's Infernal, dude. We want to go play the video game there. It's a good time.
Yeah, we can play there well, too.
Let's go for it. All right, tonight we have banned out Braxis Hollow. Yeah, we'll combine them. We've eliminated Braxis Holdout as well as Cursed Hollow. We're just going to just concatenate that and then expand it. Game 1 here on Infernal Shrines. First pick, as a result of the coin flip win, we'll go over to Hippity Hoppity. 5 seconds on their ban.
All right, so which meta is being banned out? We're going to start with Raynor. We're seeing quite a lot of Diablo, Garrosh bans still. That frontline presence can be really difficult. But Johanna, actually, I think, is one of my sleeper first bans on this map with the wave clear frontline presence that she brings. But Deckard, of course,
yes,
and Whitemane, also definitely topics for discussion with early bans.
I think we may finally have 3 supports. I was about to say, the standard bans, Raynor, Yrel, Azmodan, and Genji. We'll see if any of those heroes make it on through. I'm very interested in Whitemane, even though the win rate is not there in HGC. I've seen some really good Whitemane play, and it's been interesting to see the meta unfold here with the supports, because if you ban only one of Deckard or Alex, you're likely not to get your hands on the other one unless you're first picking. So, you know, again, just having a good support that people feel like fits at the top of the meta really expands your options at the draft. And we do see Whitemane actually get banned out. Dahaka. See, previously, if you saw like a Deckard ban, you'd be like, okay, first pick Alex, and now you got to reach for a further down the support tier. But now Deckard and Alex are both available. So at least, again, we don't know if these teams are going to go in that direction, but then those heroes would be there. The Haka ban.
Yeah, the global on this map can be very good. I don't know if it's worth a first ban, but we do see Reborn Knights Red going there. They want to control the global game, but Azmodan coming out to control a little bit of the global game on the other side here for Hippity Hoppity, along with that massive amount of wave clear. We'll have to see if they want to try and pair that with a Johanna or something else that can help him stack here in the early part of this matchup.
We have the Circle of Life, and then we have the Circle of Sin, with Azmodan and Alex picked up. Diablo to pair with the Alexstrasza.
Don't you mean the Cone of Sin? I mean, really?
The cone.
Diablo gonna be coming out with that lightning.
Well, you got Azmodan's the Lord of Sin. Get out of here, you wowhead. Diablo's the Lord of Terror.
Oh, the Lord of Circles. I don't know. Muradin coming out here as the pick. So, yeah,
and a wolf. We got a wolf.
Yeah, I see that.
Where'd that Rhaegar come from? Interesting.
I don't know. It feels like Deckard's been shunned here, and I'm a little bit surprised. But Rhaegar and Alexstrasza, they both bring good wave clear to the table as well to help with the shrine clear. So I could see why people might shy away from Deckard here.
I'm going to start off and make a bold prediction. I think the Rhaegar means that there will be some sort of dive-oriented squishy hero. Maybe we get a Greymane. Maybe we get a Malthael. Because Blaze has been available, and nobody pulled the trigger on that yet. So I'd keep an eye out. I don't know. Rhaegar... okay, so when you're talking about your supports, when you talk about your old-school supports with, like, Rhaegar and Uther, you used Uther to protect your super squishy heroes, and you generally use Rhaegar to protect your bruisers. So something such as Malthael or Sonya would be able to get the most out of Rhaegar. And again, they may be leading in that direction if we get a Blaze ban. Nope, Genji. So Genji and Jaina are removed.
That's a pretty interesting ban, because I think Genji is definitely a hero that can synergize well with Rhaegar, but it also synergizes probably even better with the Diablo, plus it's countered a little bit by it. So members of Hippity Hoppity saying they don't want the Genji, they're going to ban it. But look at that response. Kael'thas, massive amount of wave clear, and Tychus in response to the high health pools over on the sides of Hippity Hoppity. They're going to be looking to isolate out the Azmodan for the most part, try to knock him down with that trait from Tychus, and get themselves some kills on the Lord of Sin.
I do think that they may struggle a little bit unless they can find someone who could put some backline pressure on them. Tychus and Kael'thas are not going to outrange Azmodan, and now they will have to figure out how to move past Muradin and Blaze. Leo being, the off-laner that is left. But Tychus Kael'thas will put a ton of pressure on Muradin. And maybe we get a little bit more counter-engage play here with the zoning potential and the damage combo of Kael'thas and Tychus.
Is this a Malthael coming up? No, Leoric. Okay, so they still go the percentage health route, but a little bit more tanky up front, a little more dive-oriented to try and maybe... they could try to get the Entomb out onto one of the squishy heroes and try and use that to focus target. But I think you're right. I think this is going to be interesting, because I feel like the back line for Reborn Knights Red doesn't synergize very well with what the front line likes to do. Tychus a little bit, but certainly Kael'thas does not want to be in there.
They have the strong dot combo of Tychus Leoric, and then maybe a Kael'thas to finish. Another thing to consider whenever you have a Rhaegar on the board, well, you got the Blaze there. I was actually thinking, do we get a meatball? With Hanzo, Rhaegar, Blaze will have something to say about that. I do like seeing Kael'thas come back in the meta.
Yeah, he's a pretty fun hero.
Last season was all about Jaina, and we're starting to see Kael'thas come in a little bit more. And I do think a lot of that has to do with the triple ban. And I think the other side of it is that teams have finally come back and become a little bit more comfortable with Mana Addict. And I think, and I'm not sure where the breaking point is, but I do think there are a lot of players and a lot of teams that find right now, given the meta and given... the mages, I think they feel like Mana Addict easier to complete than Ice Block for Jaina. I don't know, I'd throw that one out there. Alright, on the side of Reborn Knights Red. Danebo will be playing the Diablo. Stock on the Alexstrasza. Rise is on the Kael'thas. Ninja going to be playing that Leoric. And Stemop going to be moving into cigar range with that Tychus.
And on the left, you've got Hippity Hoppity. Cedric's going to be playing the Muradin. Derek's on the Azmodan. Captain Charleston going to be playing the Rhaegar. T-Funny on the Blaze. And Frozen on the Hanzo.
Also, games with Kael'thas tend to have a lot of kills. It's kind of fun.
One way or the other, kills are happening.
Don't see anything out of the ordinary here in Talons, but the one I do want to highlight, Endurance Stim Pack. Yet another Blaze option. And of course, Azmodan, who is actually going with Annihilation. Interesting.
Also, Live and Let Live on Alex Straza here for stock. So he's looking for trying to get the more sustained healing rather than the burst circle healing.
Interesting. Oh, well, again, we'll see how it plays out. Up in the top lane.
He doesn't need globes.
But what did Kael'thas take?
Globes.
And Tychus took globes.
Oh, no.
Tychus is going to take a Stormbolt and probably go down. Oh! Yep. Finished off by Azmodan. Muradin gets flipped over by Diablo. Danebo looking for the counter kill, but the Dwarf Toss sees Muradin scamper away.
Yeah, so right now, the rotation game definitely in favor of Hippity Hoppity. Nice rotation, nice CC, and follow-up from them, and they get the first blood there. But mostly for them, that's a benefit that's going straight into Azmodan's pockets, literally, as he's stacking up 17 so far here in the first two rotations, and their rotations are tight. They're going to go get this camp together as 4 so that they can pick it up and spend as little time out of lane as possible here.
What do you feel like is a good place for Azmodan to be in terms of timing and in terms of the 200 mark?
You know, I don't
like
know.
10 minutes? No, I mean 10 minutes.
That's a little early. I think if you really got to have the other team helping you out a lot to get it in 10, especially if you're not going with the basic attack. You know, it depends on the map. Like if you're on Volskaya and you've got the basic attack at level 1, you can definitely get it faster than that. But we'll see. Right now they're doing a nice job off the start here, but teams just got to coordinate, be good at knocking these down quickly after he throws that globe. Nice job there on the bottom lane. And we'll see as the game progresses how well these guys can do.
Keeping an eye on top lane, it looks like T-Funny's been pushed back quite a bit by Ninja on Leor. And we have a top shrine coming up. Flash our level 4s. Slight XP lead for Reborn Red. Actually, after losing the Tychus, they just chose to kind of play a little bit of a 1-3-1 and safe soak. They did, however, have to give up this bottom mercenary camp, and it looks like Hippity Hoppity is certainly going to be the first team up to this top shrine. Keep an eye out. Frozen
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they prioritize this for Hippity Hoppity. They can choose to give this first one up and try and get Azmodan some more stacks, but right now they are rotating up. So we'll see what their strategy is like. They get the top one, and now it looks like they're starting to waltz in towards the shrine.
Everybody up here. No camp pressure. Looks like a team fight. T-Funny's up front. Hits the jet propulsion on Diablo. Now his mobility is gone, but Danebo thinks the better of it. See Ninja on the flank. Teams trading out circles of big bad damaging things, and then Stock pops in early Dragon Queen. And now it looks like Reborn just trying to play the catch-up game, and they are tied currently. And Alex should provide a healthy boost to this first objective.
Yeah, it's a smart move by Hippity Hoppity. They disengage as soon as that dragon comes out. Now they're going to come back in as soon as it is popped here. Circle goes down on the back end. Not going to get too much healing off of that, but right now, T-Funny and Cedric's very, very low on the front line. Stormbolt going to have to stall Stamop a little bit. And right now, it is Hippity Hoppity that's on the run, and they are pretty much conceding this first Punisher. 4 left here as Reborn Knights Red capture the Frozen Punisher to start this one off.
Very good job of sliding back by Reborn Red. Key in that team fight, it looked like T-Funny came up a little short on the jet propulsion, and then the engagement just wasn't there. Good zone out by Reborn, and they will start to run it down top. Not too much here. I mean, both teams have good siege and good anti-siege. It's going to take a couple of kills on the objective in order for anybody to really start pressuring forts, especially pre-10.
Yeah, RKR gets the front wall, which is a nice gain for them, but really the big advantage that they ended up getting was kind of a gift from Hippity Hoppity here. They decided to give 5 people up to the top lane to defend that Punisher, so they're not getting any of the side soaks. So Reborn Knights Red will get a small XP lead, making up a little bit for that 1-0 on the kill counter. But that's about it.
7's online. Take a look at our stats really quick. Let's actually get an update on our quests. We see a buck, 17 for the Azmodan, 14 globes for Kael'thas. Doing solid. This is... I keep seeing in the rhythm.
Yeah.
I see more in the rhythm than the bigger they are.
Yeah, you really need a good finisher to make the bigger they are really worth it. Because otherwise they can just walk. Or you need just a lot of CC to keep them stuck in to really be able to finish those kills. So I kind of like this. It allows them to put more pressure longer. It makes sense.
Talking about having to finish it. Well, you got to kill Kael'thas. I'm interested to see. Like I said, maybe there's something going on at level.
Like Genji, you know, somebody that can chase like Illidan, not Illidan, but you know, Illidan-esque, if you will.
There are some choices at level 10 too. Again, I've actually seen Pyroblast, even though I don't really expect it. Alex Strauza has a little bit of a choice here. You know, do you want Cleansing Flame to maybe try to heal on the AoE damage, especially from Hanzo and Azmodan? Especially when you get like especially like post 16, when you get the Pierce on Scatter Arrow and Azmodan's, you know, at least getting close to fully stacked. That's a lot of damage. That's going to be spread out over a few fairly vulnerable heroes.
Yeah, I just think Lifebinder's too good to not take it right now, personally. But
it got nerfed on the PTR. There's another 15 seconds coming. It's up to 75, and I think they've reduced the ticks on the pre-exchange heal.
Yeah, that's kind of a cross the bridge when we get to it kind of thing. You know, right now, it's completely broken. I can maybe see a little bit of value in Searing Flame for the fact that so much of Hippity Hoppity's damage is AoE. And so maybe if you stack, you know, and you get some healing, it can be nice. But really, I think if somebody gets just chunked out by Azmodan, you just throw that Lifebinder down and they're good to go. They're back in it.
Leoric is staying top, so Ninja will sort of add that Merc pressure just by getting rid of the Shaman camp in the top lane. All right, nice. Phoenix, Lightning Breath, Odin, Lifebinder, and Entomb. On the side of Hippity Hoppity, we have Avatar. We have the new Blackfield. What is that? Tide of Sin, Ancestral Healing Bunker, and of course the Big Bad Dragon Stun on the Hanzo. There's an Odin. Wow, they're going early on this. There's an Entomb out already. T-Funny looking to get out. Charleston on the Rhaegar using the Wolf Order to try to get out. There is Lifebinder keeping alive the Kael'thas. Centrix pops to Avatar. He's at deep. He's been standing in the Phoenix for a long period of time. Danebo looks like he might just start this off with a kill on Muradin. The Bunker will go down as well, despite an early lead. Oh, Ninja on the Shrine. It does look like Reborn is on their way to picking up number 2.
This is a very rough moment here for Hippity Hoppity. First of all, they got the camp pushing in top, so they full committed to the Shrine, so they really need to make sure they get this. They're going back in. Ancestral going to come out on T-Funny, but still being just ripped apart by this minigun.
I mean, look at
going to end up going down. They do secure the Punisher, but at what cost, Boba?
I can't believe they actually got that. At no well, you know what? For a Blaze, I'll actually take it. I think this makes the game go longer. I think we could have been in a situation where Hippity Hoppity, if they had lost his old, there's the Entomb, and what a gate by Ninja. Nobody puts baby in a box but the Leo. Charleston is okay, though. The Kael'thas was late to step up.
Yeah, Rhaegar has been getting away with some interesting positioning here. Trapped in an Entomb, flipped into the middle of RKR, and just kind of wolf runs his way out. But yeah, overall, again, you know, early Punishers, not super strong. They'll get a little bit of damage on Fort to make up for all that damage in the top that they took from that camp.
But they didn't lose the Fort nor the well in the top lane. Kind
of
wild.
Yeah. It's sneezable, though. You know, that's XP that you might as well put in the bank, you know.
So yes, the old couched XP. We'll save it for later to get the talent advantage. Both teams are even right now on talent tiers. You see leading in damage. We see the Hanzo, and we do see Leo leading in damage. Shout out. to Ninja, who's been playing pretty darn well in the early game.
Sleeper assassin, man, that Leo, I swear. But he's got a couple of targets to drain that's gonna really pump those numbers up this game. But overall, they've been doing a nice job. That was a nice isolation on Asmo to kill him early in that process.
I like
that last shrine phase.
Yeah, well, he's going to be standing on the point. We're looking for Darabo. He uses Lightning Breath. He is chunking at the Rhaegar, and down goes the Wolf. Meanwhile, on the point, Cedrix was hanging around trying to see if he might have been able to secure that. Has the Dwarf toss away. Another kill goes the way of Reborn Knight's Red. Danebo wants more. Suplex on Azmodan. Gravity Lapse just misses, but the Flame Strike does connect. Here's the chip damage from Rise and Stock. Azmodan goes down. He cannot return the counter kill. Reborn running it down on the Fatmodan.
Yeah, pretty ambitious play there by Hippity Hoppity trying to invade that camp.
I liked it. For a second, I liked it, and then they got caught just by like a rogue Flame Strike found them out.
Yep. But nice capitalization by RKR. They definitely came in and punished. That Diablo charge really could change things in a heartbeat.
And they do have what are fairly short cooldowns on the heroics. Probably the longest one really is Odin, which is going to be back in 40 seconds, so it will be there for the top objective. And that sneeze that we needed on the top fort for Reborn has come through.
Speaking of invades,
Danebo is in deep. He's got a long way to go. Cedrix actually locks him in a Dwarf Toss, puts him in there, and a great disengage. And we have the reverse Easy Bake Oven with the Lightning Breath and the Entomb. Murden does go down. The Phoenix is out, almost finished. Hanzo as well.
Oh, backwards Easy Bake Oven.
I don't know. Kind of. It's like a disengage, but it got a kill.
Entomb.
It's a cool play. I have to admit, I like what Ninja is doing on this Leo, man.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time I've seen it used like that. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, Derek's doing Azmodan things.
The old split butch cancer. Okay, Azmodan. No, but it's the move that Hippity Hoppity needs to make right now. Given that they lost the fort and the well and the team fight in top, they need to start creating some asymmetrical pressure. So they're going to start working on bottom. Kael'thas is coming back. Leo is here. Let's watch for another sweet Entomb. Charleston steps up, and this one not so much.
Yeah. Never beat your heroes, man. Ninja.
This move could play off.
Great all game.
Yes, this move could play off in the long term, though. Again, Hippity Hoppity has to make the decision to find, where is our win condition, and right now they're deciding on bot. Ninja just gets out. There's the Phoenix. If we don't get more backing, they're going down. There's the Stormbolt followed by the Dragon's Arrow. Mana Addict is pop, but that's not going to save Kael'thas and Hippity Hoppity.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit like keep.
You're going to get a keep.
Meanwhile, the Punisher's captured in top, so the Arcane Punisher will be pressuring the top keep, but Leoric goes down, and all of a sudden, this is still 4 members down here, and now only 2 are in response.
Okay, and Stock immediately goes with the Dragon Queen, so... Boy. Reborn was doing everything well. Cedrix goes in, and Stock is way far out. Is Lightbinder going to be there? Yes. Wow. What a play. There's the Lightning Breath. Charleston on the run, Frozen trying to back off of the Hanzo. Stock coming back in and working with Diablo. What a neat bunch of plays. Top lane, Punisher.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, this is happening. There's a robot and a fire bat trying to figure out who's going to win this battle. Top wall will go down to the Odin. Hanzo has died because things are happening all over the place.
Where do you even keep the camera here?
I'm not sure. Are you following me? Because we're going for a ride here, friend.
I'm right with you, man.
Just pop. Okay, Tychus is going to get rid of this keep.
Okay.
So we're just gonna take a break and try to figure out what just happened. Okay.
Advantage Reborn Knight's Red. That's the TLDR.
Oh, man, I thought Hippity Hoppity had... I thought they had that keep easy.
Yeah.
They didn't have the wave, and that was the problem. Like, once the wave went away, they needed, somebody to tank that, and then they were stacked up a little tight. They might have taken some extra splash damage, I don't know. And then in comes Stock with, and apparently Reborn's thing is we just use all of our heroics in reverse. We disengage with Entomb. We use our Lifebinder to save our Alex, and it works. They're up 6-3 in terms of kills. 34 stacks on Mana Addict. Oh, by the way, this talent is done. Azmodan is at least a little bit more engorged than usual, if you will.
Yeah, the sieging potential for Reborn Knights Red is really good. You would normally look over at Hippity Hoppity and think like they've got it. But there's another great defensive Entomb.
T-Funny had him here. Oh my god, T-Funny had him lined up and then just had to slalom around the back end of that gate. Ninja at the front. Dwarf Toss has been used, and that's a funnel that Davo might take advantage of, especially with the Lightning Breath. There it is. Oh, Rhaegar hits the Ancestral, and Muradin hops in. He should be okay. Lifebinder comes out as well. Ninja applying the back pressure. Chasing down Rhaegar. Cedrix is the lowest. Muradin needs to be careful. T-Funny on the wrong side of it now. There's a huge orb on 4. This fight could go anywhere. Stock goes down first. Rhaegar is traded out. Nobody's got support, so this ought to be interesting. Cedrix is trying to get the Tychus, who is probably going to find a way. Yes, he trades out. The tanks go down at the same time, and now it's Frozen versus Rise. Frozen wins that. 2v3. Ninja's got the spooky hand. Oh my god. Stum up, and Ninja are going to finish this off.
Oh my goodness. What a bloodbath, Bobo.
Can we get a pause so I can go to get a drink? Because that was exhilarating. Okay, the supports go down at the same time. The tanks go down at the same time. The assassins start trading kills. And then the spooky hand of Leoric swings it as Ninja, who we've been shouting out for some outstanding play, winds up locking in T-Funny. And with that, Reborn picks up an ace. They also get level 20. And I'm exhausted.
Yeah, they're going to put pressure on mid here. Don't worry, I'll take this for a second, buddy. They're going to push this into mid, but the Shrine also activating in mid, so very nice macro play once again from Reborn Knights Red. And the big difference in this matchup between these two teams, they've been pretty even on the team fighting overall, but I think the biggest difference is when RKR has had an advantage here through some kind of team fight win or, you know, map objective, they've really pushed it to the maximum of what they can safely get. Meanwhile, Hippity Hoppity not quite having quite as many of those opportunities, but also just not able to capitalize on them as strong. So right now, we do see them capturing the mid-shrine, and it looks like the response from Hippity Hoppity, they're going to stay away from this without 20, capture their camp, get what they can to try and counterbalance that top lane, but just can't come in and contest this. And this is going to be a rough one here as they try to defend this Frozen Punisher marching into the mid lane onto that exposed keep.
A lot of this draft, I would have to say, and this is just, again, based on appearance, it has seemed to turn on Alex versus Rhaegar. And I actually think Charleston has done a really good job on the Rhaegar, but Alex on Shrines, I mean, it's Alex. And Reborn has taken every single objective. And now, because they've been winning this team fight, they can Odin, they've got Dragon, they have all of their R buttons, and here goes the Frozen Cena. Take a look, this mid keep is going to get melted instantly. Is there enough defense here for Hippity Hoppity? Are they going to be able to survive this?
I don't think so. I think this Punisher is marching directly in here, and there's, like I said, there's a lot of really, really good siege here. As the shields are just getting completely annihilated onto the core here. The response is in, though. Cedrix comes on in. The orb is huge. The damage on stock is he's going to go down. Charleston's on the wrong end of this as well as the 50. Punisher focusing him on the backside. But Ninja's in here. He's going to have to walk away as the Punisher goes down. So they'll get some damage, but huge defense from Hippity Hoppity.
Wait, Hanzo died?
Where's his body? I'm trying to figure it out.
Good God. Stock went down, and very good focus from Hippity Hoppity. They've actually done a fairly successful job of targeting the Alex Straza.
And think about that for a second, because they have Azmodan, Hanzo, you know, like these are not auto attack heroes that are super easy to just change targets on the fly. They're doing an incredible job with their target focus.
Ninja gets picked on. Level 20 has been picked up. Leoric 40 seconds away. Hippity Hoppity, I mean, listen, they're down 2 keeps, and they need to figure out how to get this pressure in the bot lane going.
Yeah, they've run out of extra lives here. If they lose any sort of team fight, if they have to constantly worry about the back door. Their backs are against the wall for Hippity Hoppity. They're doing a nice job of painting the map blue, but they are going to have to force here at some point against RKR. The Hanzo's back now, And here they come to the bottom lane. This is going to be where they try to make a stand to try and get something going here in this matchup to go their way.
And I think they're going to back off, but I feel like they need this keep just because of the top and the mid catapults that are going to be pushing against them. They need to find a fight. Just one pick and a keep would just dramatically change this. This game has gone so long. I mean, we're in the 20th minute. They have a fully stacked Azmodan, so it's totally within the realm of possibility that if Hippity Hoppity get another great team fight, if they get maybe 2 or 3 kills and an objective, they could absolutely run it down top.
And you can see them kind of pushing in mid. This is something that Hippity Hoppity's got to pay attention to. They're going to keep vision on them. They're going to even look to maybe rotate, but the structure advantage for RKR is huge. They can just retreat to this back fort, and there's nothing that Hippity Hoppity can do to force. And they're going to wait until they're good and ready to take a fight, until they have some sort of advantage, whether or not Hippity Hoppity split, or whether they're too far in lane, if they've taken some kind of chunk damage, anything that they could find. But really right now, they're just not in a hurry. They know that this is their match to lose.
42 stacks on Mana Addict. This is a Redemption Hanzo, by the way, so Frozen has to build that back up.
Asmo's been done for a while. He's ready to go.
He is well fed. Top is going to be the site of our next objective. No other camps are on the table, except for these 2 Shaman camps, which will certainly run into each other there in the top lane, and both teams will pick those up. 2 Cat is here in the top lane. They're stacking mid. We've got 2 on site there. That's a big problem, especially if this guy lives. What do we got up top? Mortar Punisher. Get a little bit of added siege. I think this is it.
Yeah. Last stand of the Alamo here for Hippity Hoppity. They have to win this. The one nice thing for them is there's no fort for Reborn Knights Red to fall back to. So if they can find a way to force here, they can continue that fight, and RKR can't just back away from it, but they need to go. I mean, this mid lane is going to end up ending the game, and they will jump in.
There's the combo. Dragon Arrow with the Globe on top of that, and the AoE damage is proven to be a lot. Tychus goes down, doesn't even have time to get in the bunker. Stock is locked in with a Lightfinder, which did not connect. Ninjas on the backside, looking for a way back in. Dragon Queen has been popped. Danebo is low. Diablo uses Hellgate to get out, but he's still low. Counter kill possible. Charleston is just barely alive. Stock looks like Alex will be first to go down. There's a lightning breath. Can we finish anybody? Not quite. Alex eventually dead. Danebo. Can he get back over the wall?
Hippity Hoppity's got to get somebody going back. That's stacking up in mid. They win the team fight.
It's 2 Katas.
Yeah, the Katas are getting in there. A third one on the way. And they realize this. They're going to send Ninja back if the minion will stop. Oh, wait a minute. That never mind. But we will have Blades going in the mid.
Oh, can he get the hand? No.
No way.
Might have had it on cooldown.
Ninja was trying to run away.
Buried alive right there. Actually, I mean, listen, he had an opportunity to catch Frozen. I think if he could have skirted around the outside. T-Funny cleans up in mid. New York will be back in about 30, with a little bit of reduction, probably 20 seconds. Okay. I keep talking about it. Hippity Hoppity's got to win a fight. They got to run it down top. They're going to have the opportunity, and they're going to have, what, level 22, probably level 23. What, a 23-minute Punisher? Pretty darn good scaling. It's a Mortar Punisher. They have to. They have to go through. Oh.
Wait a minute.
T-Funny. He's got bunker.
Just casually dodges. Oh no!
Oh no!
That might be it. The game. Not the play of the game.
Charleston's in trouble here. Here comes the Entomb with the Buried Alive. It actually catches both Murden and Rhaegar. Lightning Breath is going to finish off the Wolf. Cedric's now under pressure. Stomop's on the other side of him. So you got a Tychus with 2 tanks. There's the Odin. That looks like it's going to do it. A little bit of a base race, but I don't think Dyrus is going to win this one. With the 35% core, Reborn Red picks up game number 1. Oh boy. Yeah, I think Frozen's going to live to regret that one.
Yeah, Hippity Hoppity. A little bit split there. A little bit greedy on the camp call. You said it though. They needed to win a few team fights in a row. I think at that point they get the Punisher, but they still probably have to look to defend because RKR beats them in a base race, so they have to go back and defend. But they got to do that as a group. The problem is they split up. And yeah, like you said, Frozen got caught trying to rotate to help his buddy. And much like a Brightwing trying to come down to help an Artanis that'll flip you over the wall, he ended up paying for it.
That's wild. I don't think he meant to click that play of the game. T-Funny got out. And then again, Diablo's there. You got Buried Alive, which just ends video games. Shout out to Dirix on the Asmodan for just getting stacked what felt like instantly, and he leads this game with almost, what, 35k more damage. But the MVP, that he talked about it all game, I gotta throw it out to Ninja. I thought he was fantastic on that Leo. Top damage on his team. A ton of impact. Did not find a lot of trait value, but I think that was a positive in game number 1.
Yeah, I think the big story here is the siege damage. You know, it's just Asmodan doing a lot of siege damage, but a lot of that is lane minion clearing, not so much the actual structure damage. Meanwhile,
3 heroes.
Reborn Knights Red, you know, like the team fighting was fairly even, but Reborn Knights Red able to take advantage, get structures, get that advantage, and then all they needed was just one positive team fight. They get that one pick, they snowballed that, and ran it down.
All right. Game number 1 in the books. Let's go ahead and set up our lobby. For game number 2, we're doing the Diablo double dip tonight. We're headed to Battlefield of Eternity. All right. Jay, what do you want to see here in draft in terms of adaptations, changes, or maybe some consistencies from game number 1?
Metas change constantly, but Battlefield kind of always stays the same. Hanzo still, of course, top priority here, so Frozen will be looking to get that back again if it doesn't get banned. But just in general, otherwise, you look for team fighting potential. You end up with these long, as the name would suggest, of this battleground, eternal fights in the mid. And if you have the positive team fight, even if you don't have the positive damage on the Immortal, that can be a really big advantage for you. But after that last game, I can't wait to see these two teams go at it on this map. The team fighting was amazing and very even. And I think that a lot of RKR just got that advantage from the macro from the most part. And that's not really a factor on this map so much. You know, there's just not that much macro that you can really take advantage of and outplay your opponent with. A lot of it comes down to team fighting and just quick rotations. So we'll see.
Like I said, there was definitely notable and good plays on both sides. Again, a neat game in that it seemed like it took a little while for that one to develop. But again, the Alex on the objective, I think, was just too much throughout the course of the game. That certainly seemed to be the big issue. But again, Battlefield, totally different set of heroes. What have I seen played here? I've seen a fair amount of Stukov come back out on this map.
Yeah.
I've seen teams, and I do think it's very obvious what the intent is, because like previously, for the longest time, the meta on Battlefield was like, okay, we're gonna race, and it's like, no, we're gonna race faster, and then teams would just wind up like trading out race heroes. But I do think now that we've gone through a couple of different seasons and teams have some different strategies. Like there's always, it seems like one team's gonna race, and the other team wants to kill the other ones. And it makes for a nice little tug of war here on BOE. Okay. Teams are in lobby. Let's get our R in a second.
Yeah, I definitely like to see the defensive strat on this map. That is kind of the one way you can look to get some macro pressure is setting up defense, and especially if you have a global that can go out to soak lane and quickly come back into the mid. But you don't really have to have that. Anybody can rotate to mid pretty quickly and be right back in there ready to defend. You can take a defense 4v5 as long as you're not too aggro about it until your 5th can rotate in.
Yeah. All right, teams are ready. Let's fire up the draft. Game number 2 will be played on Battlefield of Eternity.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Diablo prioritized once again by one of these teams. Very strong pick with a lot of terrain in the middle of this map to collide into on those charges. I feel like that was a big advantage for Ariel when she was in her heyday as well on this map, despite the fact that you don't get a whole lot of generation.
Do you miss your Oriole? Do you?
I do. Long ago. Back when I was a support main.
Oh my god. Muradin ban. What are we getting? An odd tank choke? That could be kind of neat. First draft, I'm trying to think of who made it through. Decker Kane made it through the whole darn draft.
Yeah, that was insane.
Somebody Garrosh made it through the whole draft. We saw
Phoenix.
Raynor.
Yeah,
what was the first set of bans? Raynor, Yarel, Dahaka. Obviously, he's usually not a factor here in BOE, and
And the white main.
And the
white main was banned. I haven't seen a whole lot of white main. You would think, with her kit, this should be pretty good here.
Yes, actually.
Kind of, I want to use the word Tyrande-esque, but she's not really like Tyrande, but she brings some of that damage like Tyrande does.
She's a god for like 5 or 6 seconds. Like,
yeah.
No, really, like, you know, if you just, okay, there's a little bit more skill involved, and we're going to joke around a little bit, but if you're playing white main, once you hit level 10 and you just kind of, like, slam your face into the keyboard, generally what happens is the other team just tries to come in and kill you guys, and then when the fight ends, everybody has more hit points than they started with. It's really a neat trick. But that's, I get, you know, that's, if you can hit the white main combo, especially with Scarlet Aegis at 10. And Searing Lash is the root talent at level 13. And that's the new virulent reaction. That's a really cool piece of CC, which just is a massive power spike for white main, if we do see her here. And she hasn't been banned out. And why not? It's 2018. We even play Azmodan on BOE.
First pick Azmodan is good anywhere.
What is this? It's 2018. God almighty.
Don't cool down, Bobo. It's okay. We'll be
fine. It's just, all right, listen, it's wild. So, like, I started in this game with,
I actually like Azmodan here, though, on this map, because you can put the general in lane while you guys are fighting forever in the mid. Gives you a lot of extra XP. You know, he's got value.
It's just wild because, like, listen, when I started the game off, I learned how to play Azmodan because I was terrible, but I was really good at doing that thing where you go to a lane where nobody is and then you just right-click minions. And it's just, like, it's been the entirety of, like, the pro scene and the competitive scene. Azmodan was a little more than a meme, and now it's just every game. It's either ban it or pick it.
The pros were just a little bit behind your strat, man. They got it. They caught up to you.
It's ridiculous.
Don't worry about it. Artanis and Deckard picked up here for Hippity Hoppity. Artanis very map-specific pick with that level 1.
Yes.
To give him a lot of extra damage on the Immortal.
We
see the same with Rhaegar. He's not quite as good as he used to be, but still, for a support, provides quite a bit of extra clear on the Immortal.
Yes.
But the Garrosh is the most interesting part for me, because you don't typically think of Asmo as a good follow-up hero for those isolative tools that Garrosh brings, but you know, why not? He's got his new beam can do quite a lot of damage, and so we'll have to see how it works out for him.
They're gonna need some kind of finish on top of Garrosh, which would suggest a mage. They do have like the Rhaegar soft CC follow-up. I know Azmodan, but I feel like if Garrosh flips a high L target, it still takes Azmodan like an hour and a half to delete a tank. But you know, what is the combo going to be? What is the other DPS, or maybe the flex pick that Reborn's going to bring here? And we get double Rhaegar. It's been a long time since I said that. Bans in the secondary ban phase, we see Greymane as well as Johannago, so a lot of race has been removed. Raynor, Hanzo, and Greymane will not take place in this match. There's the Vala. And then a Nubarak.
I feel like Genji is what I'm looking at here if I'm RKR.
Yeah.
I mean, when you literally got a guy named Ninja on your team, how can you not go Genji? But really good follow-up to the Azmodan chunking, but also really good counter to Vala. Vala is just incredibly squishy to heroes that dive in. Greymane was kind of the original counter. Genji's kind of a better version of it. But instead, they're going to go to the Cassia. So the blind potential, really good, especially onto the Artanis and the Vala. And Sonya on that front line to kind of help with the damage. And strong solo lane potential.
Yes.
I like this draft from RKR. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the race potential from RKR is really going to be on the Rhaegar and the Sonya, I would imagine. There's an Alarak.
Another pretty map-specific pick. I feel like we see him here more than most places. His telekinesis will be very good for knocking people into those stuns from the Immortal, kind of as an initiation. But overall, also very good against melee-heavy comps, where you can try and drag them in, get a huge silence. Especially with the Rhaegar, you got the Rhaegar and the Cassie, who likes to step up with the Fend. Got a lot of potential for clumping there.
And a really good CC chain with a Nubarak and Deckard. If Hippity Hoppity can play this right, it ostensibly means that a target that is locked down by both of those heroes is going to be sitting there for about 3 seconds, where you can just take your hands off the keyboard and wait for Alarak to step up and kill you. All right.
Yeah, the term we use a lot in this game is burden of execution. Let's say that looking at the two teams side by side, I think that Hippity Hoppity's got the better draft in terms of like who has the potential to win, but their burden of execution is definitely higher. We'll see if they are up to the task.
Well put. I agree with you. They got a fun draft. There's a lot of moving parts that are going to have to come together very well. See if they can pull it off. Well, for Hippity Hoppity, Frozen on the Vala. T-Funny will be playing the Deckard game. Look at a role change here. Cedric's on the Anubarak. Dirix will be on the Alarak. Heading on up top. Cap Charleston on the Artanis.
And on the right, looking to go 2-0 in this matchup, we've got Rhines on the Azmodan. Stock going to be playing the Rhaegar. Ninja going to be playing the Sonya up top. Danebrow going to be on the Garrosh. And we're going to have Stamop on the Cassia.
Seen a fair amount of Cassia here this season. And I really don't know how I feel about her. Because it's usually, if you pick it too early, it seems like the other side is like, it's a Cassia, we're going to counter that. Here's a Kael'thas, have a good time. Cassia and Navala is a tricky matchup. Sort of plays into what you talked about, burden of execution. It's going to be a big part of this game. Game number 2. Hippity Hoppity and Reborn Knights Red.
Yeah, Cassia is pretty interesting. I think she's kind of an alternative burst hero. In a lot of ways, she kind of plays like Jaina, where she does offer some poke potential. And now, especially with the Q build being very popular, is looking to stack early, kind of like you see with the Jaina. But her follow-up potential is massive. If you get a good flip and you get that blind into the Fend, you'll be very, very strong for trying to just knock down one target.
Gamebo gets hit in the root and is silenced. Cedric was positioning there with the Anubarak, but didn't quite have the path in. Cassia's a fun hero that... Oh, Danebo. That's the Anubarak flip. He unstoppables away. Cassia, like, once a game, it always feels like you're going to 1v3 and feel like a god. No matter how bad the game is going. That's where sometimes you get a little bit of fun out of her. Could we see a Valkyrie?
So typically, you take Valkyrie with a more poke-oriented team. If there's a lot of melee, you don't really want the Valkyrie, because at the end of the day, a lot of the members of Hippity Hoppity want to be in your backline. You know, if you hit a Valkyrie on Artanis, Anubarak, even Alarak to an extent, like, they're okay with that. They kind of want to be there anyway. So, but meanwhile, they also have those 3 melee that are going to probably be pretty clumped. Where Lightning Ball can get a decent amount of value out of it.
Ninja struggling a little bit with Charleston in the top lane.
He's controlling the globes very nicely.
That's how you tell the real Artanis players. Oh, Danebo, that's one stun. Oh, but he gets the flip on Anubarak, who's already used Burrow in. That just happened.
That's that moment where they're sinking into the lava and they throw up the middle finger as they go down.
That's how you separate. This is how you separate Artanis players right here. Whether or not you can bully globes, because you lose most matchups, and you're not going to beat a Sonya unless you take that away from her. Keep an eye on Charleston here. Artanis is really good in the very early game. In fact, he's one of the best heroes from like 1 to 4 in the off. All right, Objective starts. Rai's going to get things going with a laser beam. But I do think Vala wins this, I don't know, 11 times out of 10. Let's see who gets it.
Yeah, she's got the Q build. It's not super strong until level 7, especially until you've charged it at 4. It is strong, but just quicker rotation, and Artanis wasn't there. They get just a little advantage.
Aggressive play from Danebo. Charleston actually using the end of the dash. Oh, that's a 4-man stun, but Citrix has a long way to go to get back out. Anubarak is low at about 10%. Goes down. The bug. Swept under the rug there. And first kill going over to RKR. They also get the Artanis out. A lot of AoE damage, but it's not quite enough. I think, I don't know, Frozen has an opportunity to get this if Reborn is not careful. Danebo.
Oh, into the stun circle, but the telekinesis will get him away.
Good play.
Big root coming out from T-Funny. By the way, roll swap there, as we now got T-Funny on the healing. Overall, I didn't notice that before for Hippity Hoppity. But we do have the charge back in. Tough to secure it on the defense here. They're going to come back in and secure the Immortal. But can they get out is the question. What a swap!
Charleston flexing on over to the Artanis. Frozen looking to get a chase down here, trying to chase the mop. We got Vala and Artie in the area. Immortal's headed up. So advantage right now on the side of Hippity Hop. Because they've got a Vala. They've got a Beetle up here. And they're going to start to wail away on this top wall.
Yeah, nice thing for Hippity Hoppity there. They kind of lose a couple members in transition to that second phase, but they're able to get back quick enough with these low death timers. And then they actually capitalize afterwards by getting a couple kills. It's going to net them a nice thing here. But yes, ooh, huge.
Got rooted. There's the burrow from Anubarak. The Wolf trying to get away. Vala moving up. Frozen actually avoids the groundbreaker from Garrosh. Danebo couldn't quite connect. The fort goes down. But no damage done. On the kill count, Hippity Hoppity takes the early lead.
Yeah, the fort is a huge get for them. That's not something you would normally get out of an early Immortal, especially when you got good counter siege from Azmodan and Cassia. But they got a nice advantage off of that. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the struggle continues here for both of these guys, but Ninja's starting to do a little bit better in this 1v1.
Took a while for the for Sony to start scaling up, so you got Warpaint followed by Shattered Ground. Interesting. A little bit of wave clear, I guess. And then Battle Rage.
Classic Battle Rage.
It's got
even as a level 7 talent, still being very competitive.
I know. Oh, Ninja is about to get ganked. Charleston's just going to stand there. Alright, swap. We're a little all over the place, but Ninja is resigned to his fate. And back to the shadows with you, good sir. So the rotate from Hippity Hoppity towards bot. Up top, Reborn, running it down. I think they
meanwhile, in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to take this forward over time. 5 members of Hippity Hoppity there in bottom. Cassie eats the silence. The follow-up isn't there, however. The wall is going to slow down Hippity Hoppity.
Yeah, I don't know about this call to send up the Artanis. I know you want to kind of get that side soak on that lane, but he's not going to be able to stop this 1v3. Meanwhile, the charge in, the stun, and Ninja in trouble again. Another great stun by Cedrix, and they will be able to pick up another kill. 4-3 now on the counter, as the members of Hippity Hoppity are getting pretty close to 10. And you like that trade if you're already ahead as Hippity Hoppity, getting closer to the end of the game evenly, and you already got that fort down.
Shout out to Frozen there for the volley. He's done a great job of stepping up and also just staying safe. You see no deaths on Vala. You can be pretty well sure that the Vala team is therefore having a pretty good time. Alright, 10's online. Cocoon, Suppression Pulse, Counter-Strike, Rain of Vengeance. Deckard, well, he's an older gentleman. He's wise enough to think this over. It's stay a while and listen.
It's a tough spot for RKR. They can't really get 10 here fast enough and still be able to contest this Immortal, so they're pretty much just having to concede it. The only chance was an opposite spawn of what we see is if it had gone bot, they might have been able to rotate fast enough to at least stall it, but it's just too risky. Not worth. They'll get just a tiny damage on it. They'll have level 10 for the defense, though. This will go, I believe, to the bot
I think it
lane.
will go bot, yeah.
There it goes. And they can defend at the keep, but this is a big opportunity for Hippity Hoppity. They can rotate down with this Immortal. They can look to pressure the front wall, if not the keep itself.
I'd like to see an aggressive rotate here. I hope Cedrix doesn't quite show. I mean, we want to see everybody stay north here and work with the Punisher.
Yeah, you don't want to give away free damage on it, but you don't want to push past it too far.
Oh, there's the
pull.
pull.
Asmo.
Rise is silent. Suppression pulse comes out. Stay wild locks down both Cassia as well as Sonya on the backside. Frozen goes down to the Laser. Asmodean traded out. There's the Ball Lightning right in the middle of 4 members. Trying to get a little bit of zoom in. Cassia winds up getting stuck in the cocoon. Ball Lightning expires. Garrosh trying to get away. Danebo's got a while to go. Eats the Burrow. Groundbreaker. Stump just heading in the opposite direction as Garrosh goes down. It's just Ninja up against about a half health Immortal. Asmo
Remember
coming
the
back.
Reborn Knights Red getting split up really badly there in that team fight. Cedric's actually not quite finding his mark on the Burrow charge, but the keep is falling, and they're going to look to focus damage on it. RKR trying to punish him, trying to get the poke damage out in response. Huge globe there to try and clear up the wave, but the keep is going to go down. And now the only question is, can they prevent the members of Hippity Hoppity from rotating out of here for free, Bobo?
The Impale missed. Keeping an eye on Cedrix at the front there with the Anubarak. He should have Burrow charge in a couple of seconds. There's the disengage route. Hippity Hoppity are okay. Frozen, meanwhile, has been up top.
Oh. For a second there, he might get a Nubarak with that throw, but yeah, Frozen with quick rotation. Nice disengage from Hippity Hoppity. And now they're in control on this map.
And they just need to... listen. Take it easy. Play it safe. You've got a level and a half lead. They just hit the 13 mark. I even would have been okay with them just sacrificing a member for that keep bottom, and they get away with a good long saunter down the bottom lane. What's the path back in for RKR right now?
They gotta win team fights. That's really all they can do. But they need 13, so they're gonna have to just play this patient. But unfortunately, that's also what Hippity Hoppity wants to do. They know they're ahead. They just want to play essentially for 16 here. There's no reason to force when you're this far ahead. So they're just looking for that time in the game when team fight win equals game win. And that's probably about level 15 or 16. At that point, the death timers are large enough that if you get a full wipe, you can just go to core. But they don't really gain much from getting a team fight win right now. Maybe they get some keep damage, they get the objective. But yeah, both teams going to play passive. But we're going to see this come to a head after halftime here.
This is actually a really good spawn for RKR. Just because they get to put some free damage on the Immortal, they're not going to get 13. There's really very little to next to no opportunity for them. But the less shield that they have to go up against, and again, we assume they're not going to come away with this all right, the better. Yeah. See Damo walking in, there's a giant silence. There's the Rain of Vengeance follow-up. Ball Lightning is out. Good bit of damage. Nobody's gone down yet. There's the Ancestral on the backside. Stomach stays alive, but Damo is very low. Frozen flooding in. Rain of Vengeance stopping Garrosh from moving in. Charleston is in deep, trying to find a way out. 13 is nearly here, but RKR does not pick it up. Now they got to worry about top keep.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice defense. I do like that call to try and take the defense. You take that fight under the Immortal only. But 13 is not a big enough talent tier that you are deterred from that. They do take it. They can't get the win. Huge silence, huge shout out there to Dirix with that huge 3-man silence. Really put RKR on the back foot. And now the sieging begins here for the members of Hippity Hoppity.
Shield is almost gone. 13 have been picked up. We'll flash these real quick. There's a suppression pulse. The taunt comes through. Dirk is in trouble. The laser going out. Counter strike, and Alarak doesn't quite have enough. There's a cocoon in there too. Asmodean's locked in. Danebo is low. You see Ninja trying to find a backline target. Ball Lightning comes out. It may finish off an Uberek if he eats a couple more bounces. Stamop with the chase.
Going hard there after a Nubarak.
Gets one. We'll now have to contest with Deckard and Artanis. Charleston doesn't want anything to do with that. And the keep stays.
They got it.
RKR
Got
telling...
the defense out. Now they can get 16.
RKR telling Hippity Hoppity, get off my property. Chuckle. I gotta make a dad joke per game. Alright, and now the invade from RKR. 9 seconds until the new Barat comes back in. Oh boy. Alright, I mean, that's one. They're gonna need to win the next Immortal and another. They're gonna, I mean, they need at least 2, maybe not full team wipes, but they need 2 convincing wins.
They gotta get down here. They gotta force the members of Hippity Hoppity to fight over this camp 5v5. But right now, Vala rotating back to Asmodan. It is a 4v4.
She wants to keep. Cocoon comes out, staying while listening, hits 3 members. Rhaegar is inside the Cocoon, some up, trying to break him out. Ninjas all the way forward. Rhaegar cannot get in there, does not have the opportunity to get ancestral on. Asmodan is here, but Vala has sort of traded out. This is a keep for what'll be an even fight. Artanis goes down. There's the taunt. Derek's, I don't think you're making it out of there either, despite hitting a huge silence. Oh, by the way, Chaos Reigns is totally finished. 16s are picked up by Hippity Hoppity. They give up 2 for 1, but Rise, sneaky, finishes off top keep.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice prize for them to walk away with on that trade. You distract them. It would have been nicer if Hippity Hoppity didn't have to give up those 2 kills, but at the end of the day, now Asmo is going to be constantly tasked with having to get these lanes cleared, and that's rough here on BOE. When you're having to try to fight in the middle, you can't always dedicate your globes to the actual team fighting. But meanwhile, RKR does get the first half of this Immortal. Huge advantage for them. And now they're going to look to try and passively... well, they should be looking to passively defend, but they go straight in on it.
Yeah, they're playing an offensive game on the Hippity Hoppity Immortal. Asmodan eats a little bit of an impale. There's the cleanse. Rhaegar has been stuck in the cocoon, so... sorry, you're not getting out of there. Garrosh, I don't think Rhaegar is long for this world. Down, puppy, and there he goes. 2 kills. Hippity Hoppy seizing this game back.
They could maybe go core here, but instead they're going to go ahead and settle for the map objectives. Send their 2 best racers on it. And let the rest defend. 3v3 in the bot, though, now.
Put some more damage
Can they do anything with this?
I don't think so. Cassius, Sonya... I'm afraid of Derek's, especially since he's already completed Chaos Reigns. He's got full stacks on his silence. Gets it going there. Misses the whole combo. Ball Lightning comes out. Little effect. Suppression Pulse in there as well. The Immortal is confirmed by Hippity Hoppity. Almost no shield, though. Probably need 2 kills to get the game here. Not sure one does it.
Yeah, you got to look specifically at the siege damage that Hippity Hoppity deals compared to the counter siege. I think this is going to be rough. It's going to be really rough for RKR to defend this. They're going to have almost a perfect defense, maybe even engage on the members of Hippity Hoppity beforehand, though. The web wrap comes out very early, though. This is good. They can break that web wrap, and that's 1 ult down now, but they charge in and just load off the Sonya. Huge swap onto Stamop. He's on the wrong end of this. He's going to be completely out of this team fight. And now the Immortal is starting to chunk down the shield.
Did anybody see that, Sonya? I thought she engaged. 70% on the core. Immortal still has about half-life. That's 40%. Counter-Strike comes through. Alarak staying alive. Ball Lightning goes out, but it's not going to be enough. 10% left. And the Immortal is going to finish off game number 2. And a well-earned split by Hippity Hoppity.
Both teams played very good early games in their respective wins, and were able to just, keep the wheels on it long enough to get it across the finish line. And just impressive play from both of these teams. Pretty evenly matched overall. Neither game I felt like was a domination either way in team fighting, but game 1, RKR playing very good macro and able to really take a lot of advantage of extra siege damage and get a lead early on structures that they snowballed. And in this one, Hippity Hoppity just taking a little bit more advantage out of the map objectives. Every time that they got a punish, or every time that they got an Immortal, they converted it into heavy siege damage and was able to capture structures And eventually it's just too much for RKR to bear.
Derek's getting stacked up on that Alarak was a huge help. I mean, I think he got Chaos Reigns done pretty early. I didn't catch when that quest was completed, but when he could hit like 2 members with a silence, way too much. Listen, good play for them and a good comeback. All right, hey, listen, you're here in A-West. Do you still have to play both of these teams, Jason? Is Divine Nine get both of them?
Well, there are going to be 2 teams that we don't face.
Right. Okay.
We don't face either of these teams next round.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a possibility that we could face them in round 4.
We'll keep an eye out. All right.
I would say even a high possibility. But
you guys might be again, if one of these teams can make a move, you guys might find yourselves competing for similar spots. All right. I don't have time for an interview, because I've got a game coming up at midnight on the East Coast. But I do want to take a minute to, listen, give a shout out to all these players. I thought we saw some really good things. In the first game, I thought Ninja was outstanding on the Leo. I thought Stock played a great Alex. And then here in game 2, I think the plaudits belonged to Dirix and Frozen. I thought the backline combo of Alarak and Vala was outstanding and really helped to carry Hippity Hoppity to the earned draw.
And Asmodan 0 for 2 in the series. How about
good?
That?
Nice.
I figured that might be your response to that
What?
stat.
I'm trying to think. Like I said, it's just odd. I think you actually made a really good argument for the case why Asmodan can be good here on BOE. But I don't think it was first pick. And what wound up happening...
It was countered well. It was countered well by Heavy Engage, and the web wrap is a really good counter to him as well. They did that a few times, and just got to give all the credit to Hippity Hoppity. I feel like they just out-pedaled them.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
And they could play
number 2.
They could play very aggressive too with the Anubarak Artanis combos. They could kind of wade in